was all, brother. I had that tarpon hooked, and he knew it. I started to reeling him in. 5 minutes later, he was on the gaff and in the boat. That was yesterday morning.
Oh, man,
yesterday. That's right, yesterday morning. Then in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock, we were trolling, and
trolling at 3 o'clock yesterday, sir.
But that's what happened, I tell you.
Oh, of course, Charlie. But wait till Isaac Walton hears about this.
Wait till Diogenes hears about it. Kangaroo court. That's an idea. Kangaroo court. We'll get the truth out of you.
Right.
Your Honor. Gentlemen of the jury. I hereby charge this man with lying when he makes the claim, as he does, that he caught a tarpon over the weekend. Such a feat is an impossibility, as I shall now prove.
Now you're talking.
You're right. It can't be done.
I'll say, make him tell the truth.
Order in the court. Proceed, Mr. Prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is true, is it not, that you live and work in this city?
Yes, of course.
Item 1. There are no tarpon in this area. The defendant, then, could not possibly have caught one anywhere near his home and place of business. Did you have any extra time off from work on the weekend just ended yesterday?
No, I had just the usual time, Friday evening to Monday morning.
There you are. Item 2. It is hundreds of miles to the nearest tarpon waters. Therefore, it would be utterly impossible for this man or any other man to go there, fish, and get back again, all in the space of an ordinary weekend. Now, in the face of these discrepancies, do you still persist in making this preposterous claim?
I do. I did catch a tarpon, and I caught it yesterday.
Then I repeat my charge. You have uttered a bold, bald-faced falsehood. You, true to the tradition of fishermen, have told a whopper.
Your Honor, if the court please.
Do you, Prosecutor, wish to withdraw?
I certainly do not. However, I shall rest my claim for the moment.
You may proceed with the defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Gentlemen of the jury, the fact that my client is a fisherman notwithstanding, he is told no untruth, as I shall prove to your complete satisfaction. First, consider the character, then shall we say, professional standing of my client. Your hobby is fishing, is it not?
It is?
Know enough about it to be called an expert fisherman?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
And just where did you get this expert knowledge?
From experience. And from here.
Do any of you gentlemen recognize this publication?
Of course, the #1 sportsman's magazine.
Everybody knows Sports Afield. Best magazine of its kind.
Best magazine, period.
I can assume, then, that you have the utmost confidence in this periodical and its contents. Now, what would you say if I told you that complete vindication of my client is contained within these pages?
I object, Your Honor. This is irrelevant, immaterial, and unconstitutional.
Objection denied. No tricks now.
No tricks, Your Honor. Nice try. Just proof.
Huh?
Positive proof. And here it is.
Oh, well.
May I show it to the jury?
Well, yes, of course. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, what do you know?
Quite an idea, eh? That's a new one on me.
Say, that's really something.
You bet your sweet life that's really something. The Flying Fisherman Club, one of the greatest ideas ever introduced to sportsmen. This is the complete and foolproof answer to the charge made against my client. This, gentleman, is actually how he was able to go fishing over the weekend and catch the tarpon he says he caught.
Flying fisherman. Flying fiddle faddle. I see no proof. Explain yourself. Make it simple. I'm a simple man.
I can see that, and with pleasure. The Flying Fisherman Club is one of the world's most unusual sportsmen's clubs. It is composed of amateur and who have discovered that the world's finest fishing grounds are only a few short hours away by Eastern Airlines. Suppose you're one of them. You get that fishing feeling. Maybe you're working too hard and need a change. Maybe the thought of another weekend of strain and worry gets you down. Maybe, but do you really need a reason to go fishing? So you make a call. A call to any Eastern Airlines reservations office. And you book space to, well, you name it. What's your pleasure? Saltwater fishing? You've got the whole Atlantic seaboard and the Gulf of Mexico to choose from. They're fishing for something, somewhere, all the year round. So it doesn't matter which month you go. Or maybe you're a freshwater fisherman. Fine. Choose your fish. And Eastern Airlines, serving the best inland fishing waters, will get you to where he's the biggest and fightingest. To be specific, though, suppose it's deep blue water that's calling you. At the airport, an Eastern Airlines Sky Giant, fast, far-ranging, comfortable, awaits, ready to carry you quickly and smoothly to the land of tarpon, marlin, sailfish. A great feeling, this, leaving the cares of business behind, the sport of a lifetime ahead. Once on your way, the fun really starts. Aboard a ship of the great silver fleet, strain and tension drop away. You're literally on top of the world. Luxury alone, guest of the line.
Naturally, a sportsman has to build up strength for heavy play ahead. This really lifts the spirit, while the mighty plane annihilates space.
No fisherman ever traveled with better service, convenience, and pleasure. And it's all yours from takeoff to land. And here we are, Miami, Mecca of sport fishermen from all over the world, and only a few hours by Eastern Airlines from your own hometown. On arrival, our flying fisherman is met by a club representative who has made all arrangements.
On the usual short vacation, half the time is spent just getting ready for fishing. When everything's finally set, the hopeful sportsman feels like collapsing in bed and forgetting about the whole thing. But this is different. There's a sincere feeling of good fellowship and no troublesome details to straighten out. One phone call did the trick. And now, in good hands, he can get right down to important business. At the pier, there's a wide choice of good fishing boats. Here's one that's all set, ready to go. The skipper and men are equally friendly and informal.
These boats are accredited by Eastern Airlines to certify any catch we make. For there are no dues to pay in the Flying Fisherman Club. We must make a catch and have it certified before we can join. This one catch, and traveling by Eastern Airlines to make it, are the sole requisites for membership in the club. Every catch we make thereafter is also certified, put on the record so that we can compete for trophies awarded and try our luck.
This is great sport and high adventure. Anything can happen, so suppose we go looking. A clear blue sky, smooth water, and good companions. The perfect combination for a brief escape from dull office routine. Let others worry about deadlines to meet. This weekend, we'll concentrate on fishing lines.
There's room at the stern for several Isaac Waltons, and other lines are strung on the outriggers. With this multiple threat, there should be plenty of action.
Of course, it's always possible to wedge in a little time for good conversation. In the boat's wake darts the lure for unwary creatures of Neptune's realm. So I said to the old boy, hold everything. Brace those legs. There's a battle ahead. Strike. And a whopper. Oh, brother, what a beauty. A little breather for a moment. The fish is in no hurry to go aboard. It's a real art, landing a husky fighter with such a light rod. The battle may go on for hours. And now again, a brief rest. But this big boy isn't calling it quits. Well, it's finally the end of the line for our ocean battler. So, with expert assistance, he's hauled in by the nose. From now on, this sailfish will be spending his days in the trophy room, the object of many discussions. So the white flag is run up announcing the sailfish catch, a special event that rightly calls for a bit of boasting. And Florida fishing is really worth talking about. But a flying fisherman has unlimited choice. If he wants plenty of exercise, there's nothing better than going after swordfish. These fish are notoriously tough critters. This sport calls for a king-size rod and a sturdy back. What a long nose you have. Just bringing him in is enough to send a good man reeling. The sword-like beak of this upper jawbone, as you know, can punch a neat hole through the hull of a small wooden boat. So it isn't advisable to go sword fishing in a canoe. This demands a lot of patience. The fish is willing to wait, but our friend's making headway, and it won't be long now. Come aboard, pal, and be introduced to the club. Finally tuckered out, the ocean battler wearily surrenders. So he's hauled in, and this is no small job in itself. Gentlemen, this is really a whopper. How would you like to have him over your mantel? Fishing off the Florida and Mexican coasts sometimes yields a monster like this. Resembling a flying wing with two nacelles, the manta ray, or blanket fish, can kill a man with his powerful flippers. As we mentioned before, you freshwater anglers have a stake in the Flying Fisherman Club, too. Eastern serves the best of inland fishing waters. All you have to do is get aboard and go. How about a quiet pine forest and a stream all to yourself, like this, with nothing to do but catch a few dozen trout that are just swimming around waiting for you? In a matter of hours, or even minutes, you could be here, demonstrating the ancient art of angling. Of course, some people prefer to knock themselves out at the office over weekends, but we won't guarantee they'll have trout for dinner. One thing is certain. Yes, sir, these will provide some edifying eating. Why just sit and dream about trolling for bass? Do it. There's nothing that gives a fisherman that old spine-tingling thrill as when a bass strikes. There's something about it that, well, you know what I mean. You're a fisherman. You keep the line taut because the bass is never yours until he's in your boat. And there he is. Yes, sir. You, plus a lake, plus tackle, plus fighting bass, can add up to a lot of fishing fun. Or perhaps your dish is tarpon fishing. If so, it's a mighty sensible choice. For here's a sport that few can rival. This husky aquatic acrobat will battle it out long enough to suit any sportsman who welcomes a real challenge. Although a native of the sea, this Florida Everglades specimen is in fine fettle and is determined to stay right where he is. With such a light rod, there's a good chance he may. But this puts a quick end to the struggle. And what a glittering beauty. Yes, tarpon fishing requires a high degree of skill. It's a real achievement bringing in one of these babies. He's only about 6 feet long, but he's finny dynamite. Talk about flying fish. This fellow not only leaps, he barrel rolls, tail spins, and performs every trick of an ace pilot. It takes a mighty good fisherman to keep up with him. With the eerie beauty of the Everglades, here's a vacation experience that will be long remembered. So you see, whatever your favorite fish and fishing ground, the finny world is yours when you're a flying fisherman. Whether it's Mexico or Maine, your sport is right next door. It's easy, it's convenient, it's fast by Eastern Airlines. No longer need you say you haven't the time. A weekend is long enough for the flying fisherman. A weekend that's no longer than any other weekend. One that brings zip, ready to tackle the job full tilt, and ready to start planning right away for your next flying fisherman trip. So you see, gentlemen, my client, the flying fisherman, had ample time to do what he said he did. Catch a tarpon over the weekend. Therefore, I ask you in the name of Kangaroo Court Justice. Which way, huh? Oh. Don't tell me you slept all the way through my magnificent defense speech.
I'm sorry, Ken, but you see, I'm no fisherman. Now, if you'd been talking about hunting...
Well, you're a hunter, huh?
Yeah.
Well, just listen to this. The companion club to the Flying Fisherman Club is Eastern Airlines Flying Hunter Club. Eastern serves the nation's choice hunting grounds, too, and makes available to every member the best that every season has to offer in all kinds of game. Deer, bear, moose, game birds like animated etchings in flight formation. They're ready for sportsmen on scores of lakes, large and small, within easy reach by our planes. This goose demonstrates a tricky takeoff technique. Up landing gear. What a smooth takeoff. Here we go. Graceful indeed are the wild wings. Few creatures reveal the coordination of these birds. Out in the open fields, Nimrod has plenty of opportunity to test his skill. Here's a little chap who's waiting impatiently to appear on your dinner plate. Why not let this pleasant pheasant realize his ambition? And none should quail at the prospect of bringing these in for dinner. Wildfowl can be had for the taking, and there's nothing like communing with nature after weeks of exhausting office duties. If you want a longer trip, pay a visit to Texas wild turkey family. They grow 'em big and long-legged down Texas way. Too bad they don't move as slowly as this one, filmed in slow motion. Whatever the quarry, there's sure to be good companionship on a hunting trip. So imagine yourself in this group. Out comes the dog, and the sport begins. With calls to unwary birds, the dog eagerly ranges the field. Here's a pastime enjoyed by many kings. Looks like we're in business. That's it, pal. Flush him out. Now to draw a bead. That does it. Okay, bring him in. This is really a bird dog's life worth living. Good work, pal. And now we'll leave these lucky fellows and join some other members of the Flying Hunters Club. Perhaps you prefer duck. Well, here's the way to bag a dinner. And again, man's faithful friend takes over. Nice work if you can get it on a warm day. So paddle on, bozo. You'll get your reward later. There we are. Now for the return trip. Yes, a vacation in the great outdoors is a welcome relief from city streets and everyday monotony. And this flying hunter can look forward to a mighty pleasant dinner.
There now, feel any better?
Much better. I was beginning to think that we hunters were being overlooked.
Not a chance. Eastern Airlines always takes care...
May I again remind the defense that a man and nothing else is on trial in this court?
Right, Your Honor, and I believe I've proved my point. On the basis of my evidence, I ask that my client be accused of nothing more than enjoying himself. A few years ago, Charlie, you couldn't possibly have done all you claimed. But today, with the Flying Fisherman and Flying Hunter Clubs, all of this not only is possible, but a reality for thousands of men and women. Rest, recreation, fun, 1,000 or 100 miles away, all on a weekend. All in the space of hours and minutes, no matter where you live. All these dividends, extra dividends, more pleasure from an active life, are a regular part of the activities of Eastern Airlines Club members and are available to all of you. So for you, you lucky man, if it so please the court, I ask that...
What happened?
I don't know. But I've got a darn good idea. Come on.
Hello, Eastern Airlines? Look, I want to go hunting. Now, here's what I want you to do.
Hey, listen, I want to get a...
Oh, shut up, will you? Look, here's what... I wasn't talking to you. Wait a minute.
Give me that phone. I don't know about this Flying
Here, give me
Fisherman's
that phone.
Club.
Never mind the Flying Fisherman's Club. I want to know about the Flying Hunters Club. My name is Jones. I want to leave here this Friday. I want one ticket.
Make it two.
Yeah, never mind. I'm a hunter. I'm going hunting. You're a fisherman.
You hunt, I'll fish. Make it two. I want to fly.
All right, make it two. We don't care either way. Get us out of here.
Then I repeat my charge. You have uttered a bold, bald-faced falsehood. You, true to the tradition of fishermen, have told a whopper.
Your Honor, if the court please.
Do you, prosecutor, wish to withdraw?
I certainly do not. However, I shall rest my claim for the moment.
You may proceed with the defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Gentlemen of the jury, the fact that my client is a fisherman notwithstanding, he is told no untruth, as I shall prove to your complete satisfaction. First, consider the character, Benshara.
It is true, is it not, that you live and work in this city?
Yes, of course.
Item 1. There are no tarpon in this area. The defendant, then, could not possibly have caught one anywhere near his home and place of business. Did you have any extra time off from work on the weekend just ended yesterday?
No, I had just the usual time, Friday evening to Monday morning.
There you are. Item 2. It is hundreds of miles to the nearest tarpon waters. Therefore, it would be utterly impossible for this man or any other man to go there, fish, and get back again, all in the space of an ordinary weekend. Now, in the face of these discrepancies, do you still persist in making this preposterous claim?
I do. I did catch a tarpon, and I caught it yesterday.
Shall we say, professional standing of my client. Your hobby is fishing, is it not?
It is?
Know enough about it to be called an expert fisherman?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
And just where did you get this expert knowledge?
From experience. And from here.
Do any of you gentlemen recognize this publication?
Of course, the #1 sportsman's magazine.
Everybody knows Sports Afield. Best magazine of its kind. Best magazine, period. I can assume, then, that you have the utmost confidence in this periodical and its contents. Now, what would you say if I told you the complete vindication of my client is contained within these pages?
I object, Your Honor. This is irrelevant, immaterial, and
Throwing your trick out, yes, he says.
But that's what happened, I tell you.
Oh, of course, Charlie. But wait till Isaac Walton hears about this.
wait till Diogenes hears about it. Kangaroo court. That's an idea. Kangaroo court. We'll get the truth out of you.
Right.
Your Honor, gentlemen of the jury, I hereby charge this man with lying when he makes the claim, as he does, that he caught a tarpon over the weekend. Such a feat is an impossibility, as I shall now prove.
Now you're talking.
You're right. It can't be done.
I'll say, make him tell the truth.
Order in the court.
Proceed, Mr. Prosecutor.
Thank you, Your
And that was all, brother. I had that tarpon hooked, and he knew it. I started to reeling him in. 5 minutes later, he was on the gaff and in the boat. That was yesterday morning. That's right, yesterday morning. Then in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock, we were trolling, and